Hello, this is Slate with Combo of Rocks, bringing you another video deck tech of a deck that we built by request and have for sale. If you're not familiar with us, we make and sell custom budget EDH decks. These decks are light on the budget, so they may not be optimal or competitive, but they're definitely fun and centered around a central theme that you can build on. So today we have Zedruu the Greathearted, yet this is not something that we're trying to do anything crazy with. This is a meme deck focused on goats and farm animals. The original requester said goats. I couldn't find enough goat-centered cards, so we went with the farm theme. So 1 blue, red, white for a 2/4 legendary Minotaur Monk. On your upkeep, you gain X life and draw X cards, where X is the number of permanents you control that your opponents own. You can pay blue, red, white to give a opponent one of your permanents. We have lots of useless creatures in this deck, 1/1 goats, 0/4 oxes, and the like. So again, we're giving our opponents useless cards, but it's all in the sport of fun. Let's get into it. We have catch and release. Maybe you're on the farm and you're catching some animals and releasing them. So 1 blue, red, gain control of target permanent until end of turn. Untap it against haste. You can also cast both halves at once. Release 4 red, white. Each player sacrifices an artifact, a creature, an enchantment, a land, and a planeswalker. We have moderation, because on the farm you live in moderation. 1 blue-white enchantment. You can't cast more than 1 spell each turn. Whenever you cast a spell, draw a card. Good to give your opponents that as well. Bruce Tarl, roving rancher. 2 red-white for a 4/3 legendary human warrior. Oxen you control have double strike. Whenever it enters or attacks, exile the top card of your library. If it's a land card, create a 2/2 white ox creature token. Otherwise, you may cast it until the end of your next turn. Every good farm needs a rancher. Liberated Livestock, 5 and a white for a 4/6 cat, bird, ox. When it dies, create a 1/1 cat creature token with lifelink, a 1/1 bird with flying, a 2/4 white ox creature. For each of those, you can put an order card from your hand or graveyard onto the battlefield attached to them. Ox Drover, 3 and a white for a 4/4 human peasant with vigilance. Ox Drover can't be blocked by oxen. Whenever it enters or attacks, target opponent creates a 2/4 white ox creature token and you draw a card. Field Tested Frying Pan. So 2 and a white artifact equipment. When it enters, create a food token and then attach a 1/1 white halfling creature token to this. Equipped creature has, whenever you gain life, this creature gets +X until end of turn, where X is the amount of life you gained with equip 2. Curse of the Swine. X blue blue. Exile X target creatures. For each creature exiled, its controller creates a 2/2 green boar creature token. Everyone has some pigs on the farm, and you're going to give everybody pigs. Trading Post, 4 mana artifact. 1 tap, discard a card, gain 4 life. 1 tap, pay life, create a 0/1 goat creature token. 1 tap, sack a creature, return an artifact from your graveyard to your hand. 1 tap, sack an artifact, draw a card. A Crow and Horse, 4 mana for a 0/4 artifact creature horse with defender. When it enters, an opponent gains control of it. On your upkeep, each opponent puts a 1/1 white soldier creature token onto the battlefield. So you would get a soldier token as well as your other opponents that don't control this. Transmogrifying Wand, 3 mana, enters with 3 charge counters. 1 tap, remove a charge counter, destroy a creature. Its controller creates a 2/4 white ox creature token. Only activate this as a sorcery. Again, everybody gets an ox. Hithlane Rope, because we want to rope our ox in. 2 mana artifact can't be sacrificed. 1 tap, search for a basic land, put it on the battlefield tapped. Then the player to your right gains control of it. 2 tap, draw a card. The player to your right gains control of it. Crawl Space, some of our animals get into crawl spaces. 3 mana artifacts, no more than 2 creatures can attack you each combat. Into some mana rocks, we do have a Coalition Relic. Soul Ring. Arcane Signet. Is it Signet? Talisman of Creativity. Boros Signet. Talisman of Conviction. Azorius Signet. Talisman of Progress. Firemind Vessel, taps for 2 mana of different colors. Navigation Orb, this one searches for basics and or gates. There are some gates in the deck. Wayfarer's Bauble, or Colorless Rampant Growth. Bucknard's Everfull Purse, because every farmer may have his purse. 2 mana, 1 tap, roll a d4, create a number of treasure tokens equal to the results, then pass this to the player on your right. We have Farm to Market, 2 and a white, instant, destroy an attacking or blocking creature. And from the graveyard, market, 2 and a blue, sorcery, draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards. Shadowfax, Lord of Horses, 3 red white for a 4/4 legendary horse. Horses you control have haste. Whenever it attacks, put a creature card with lesser power from your hand onto the battlefield tapped and attacking. Form a posse, or rather form a ranch hand posse. X red white, create X 1/1 red mercenary creature tokens with tap to give a creature you control +1/+0 until end of turn, but only as a sorcery. Contraband Livestock, 1 and a white, exile target creature, then roll a d20. 1 through 9, its controller creates a 4/4 green ox. 10 through 19, its controller creates a 2/2 green boar. 20, its controller creates a 0/1 white goat creature token. Bovine Intervention, 1 and a white, instant, destroy an artifact or creature. Its controller creates a 2/2 white ox creature token. Capricorn, 3 and a white for a 2/2 artifact goat with flash, vigilance, and devour artifact 1. So you can sack artifacts as it enters to put 1/1 counters on it. Thriving Ibex, 3 and a white for a 2/4 goat. When it enters, you get 2 energy. When it attacks, you can pay 2 energy to put a 1/1 counter on it. Bridled Bighorn, 3 and a white for a 3/4 sheep mount with vigilance. When it attacks while saddled, create a 1/1 white sheep creature token with saddle 2. Frontier Seeker, 1 and a white for a 2/1 human scout. When it enters, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You can reveal a mount or planes from among them, put it in your hand, the rest on the bottom in a random order. Armored Warhorse, white for a 2/3 horse. Eland Umbra, 1 and a white for aura that gives a creature +0/+4 and totem armor. So if the creature would be destroyed, you destroyed the aura instead. Landscaper Kolos, 5 and white for a 4/6 goat beast. When it enters, put a card in an opponent's graveyard on the bottom of their library. This does have basics land cycling for 1 and a white. Trusty Pack Beast, this is our Pack Mule, 2 and white for a 2/3 beast. When it enters, return an artifact card from your graveyard to your hand. Springjack Shepherd, 3 and white for a 1/2 Kithkin Wizard. When it enters, put a 0/1 goat creature token into play for each white mana symbol in the mana cost of permanents you control. Possessed Goat, 1 white for a 1/1 goat. 3, discard a card, put 3 1/1 counters on it. It becomes a black demon in addition to its other colors and types. Activate only once. Yoked Ox, 1 white for a 0/4 ox. Holy Cow, 2 and white for a 2/2 ox angel with flash and flying. When it enters, you gain 2 life and scry 1. Bartered Cow, 3 and white for a 3/3 ox. When it dies or is discarded, create a food token. Stormwild Caprador, 2 and white for a 1/3 bird goat with flying. If non-combat damage will be dealt to it, prevent that damage, put a 1/1 counter on it for each 1 prevented damage. Nyx Fleece Ram, 1 and white for a 0/5 enchantment creature sheep. On your upkeep, you gain a life. A Restrain, because sometimes our animals need to be restrained. 2 and white, prevent all combat damage that will be dealt by a target attacking creature this turn. Draw a card. Bill Fernie, Bree Swindler, 1 and a blue for a 2/1 legendary human rogue. When it becomes blocked, choose 1, create a treasure token, or target opponent gains control of target horse you control. If they do, remove it from combat and create 3 treasure tokens. Shifting Grift, blue for sorcery with spree, pay 2 additional to exchange 2 target creatures, pay 1 to exchange 2 target artifacts, or 2 target enchantments. Eyes Everywhere. On the farm, there are eyes everywhere. 2 and a blue, enchantment on your upkeep, scry 1. 5 blue, exchange control of this and any non-land permanent. Activates as a sorcery. Shrewd Negotiation. 4 and a blue, exchange control of target artifact and target artifact creature you don't control. Switcheroo. 4 and a blue, exchange control of 2 target creatures. Modify Memory. 4 and a blue, exchange control of 2 different creatures controlled by different players. If you control neither creature, draw 3 cards. An offer you can't refuse. If you're going to the market, sometimes there is that. 1 blue, counter non-creature spell. Its controller creates 2 treasure tokens. Disdainful Stroke, 1 and a blue, counters a spell with mana value 4 or greater. Negate, 1 and a blue, counters a non-creature spell. Frantic Scapegoat, 1 red for 1/1 goat with haste. When it enters, suspect it. It has menace and can't block. Whenever 1 or more creatures enter under your control, if it's suspected, you may suspect one of the other creatures. If you do, it's no longer suspected. Goat Nap, 2 and a red, gain control of target creature. If it was a goat, it also gets +3/+0. You untap the creature, gains haste. Goat Napper, 2 and a red for a 2/2 goblin rogue. When it comes into play, untap target goats, gain control of it. It gains haste until end of turn. Crested Craighorn, 4 and a red for a 4/1 beast. I think this has been errated into be a goat with haste and provoke. So when it attacks, you can untap a creature defending player controls, and it blocks this. Lightning Mare, red for a 3/1 elemental horse. Can't be countered, can't be blocked by blue creatures. 1 red, gives it +1/+0 until end of turn. Mountain Goat, 1 red for a 1/1 goat with Mountain Walk. Frenzied Saddle Brutes, so he saddles your creatures. 4 and red for a 5/4 Orc Warrior with haste. All creatures can attack your opponents and planeswalkers your opponents control as though they had haste. Just a good incentive for your opponents to attack each other. Coal Hauler Swine, 4 red for a 4/4 beast. Probably also a pig. When it's dealt damage, it deals that much damage to each player. And Roast, 1 in red deals 5 damage to target creature without flying. You can roast your pig to have it deal damage to each player, or just roast something that you don't want, but roasting meat is good. All right, into some lands here. Irrigated Farmland, Prairie Stream, Port Town, Sunscorched Divide, Clifftop Retreat, Fury Calm Snarl, Ferris Lake, Frostboil Snarl, Sulphur Falls, Perilous Landscape, Springjack Pasture, so that you can pay 4 mana and tap it to create a 0/1 goat, or tap it and sack X goats to gain X life and add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Animal Sanctuary, taps for colorless, tap 2 tap, put a 1 counter on a bird, cat, dog, goat, ox, or snake. Command Tower, Mystic Monastery, Citadel Gate, Sea Gate, and Cliff Gate. And then there's some basic plains, islands, and mountains. That's the deck. I hope you enjoyed it, but we'll see you next time.